Some wrestlers have bullied their way through history. According to WWE Hall of Fame manager Bobby "The Brain" Heenan, 100% of a pro wrestler's job is protecting their opponent inside the ring. Sports entertainment only works if everyone involved can trust the other people they are working with won't actually hurt them when pretending to do so, either intentionally or by accident. Unfortunately, mistakes do happen, and botches have cost many athletes their careers and even lives. That said, it's arguably even worse when a wrestler goes into business for themselves, as it were, intentionally injuring their co-workers during scripted contests for no good reason. While the illusion of sports entertainment is that the wrestlers of WWE or any other given company hate one another's guts, they all need to work together like decent human beings if they intend on lasting more than a single show. Well, that's how it should be anyway, as some wrestlers have bullied their way through history, continuing to find fame and success as they purposefully beat the tar out of their fellow superstars. On the other hand, sometimes wrestlers do get punished for working too stiff in the ring, losing job opportunities and in some cases any chance of working in the business again. Here are 6 examples of wrestlers intentionally hurting their opponents in the ring. So let's go to the video. Number 1. Sexy Star goes crazy on Rosemary. It wasn't all that long ago Sexy Star was one of Lucha Underground's breakout performers, wowing fans in the rings while spreading the message that every woman is beautiful and every woman is a star, apparently misunderstanding the meaning of that latter word, or missing the irony given WWE's Be a Star campaign. Nowadays, Sexy Star is better known as the woman who purposefully dislocated TNA Knockouts champion Rosemary's arm during a match at AAA Triple Mania. Star had allegedly believed another competitor in their 4-woman match for the AAA Reina the Reinas championship had in turn intentionally hurt her, and went overboard in her reaction, targeting everyone in sight. Since the incident, Star has been stripped on her title despite winning the match, and many fans and officials alike have been calling for her to get banned from the sport. Things don't look good for Sexy Star right now, yet almost everyone on this list still had a career after their infamous incident, so she might not be without hope. Number 2. Hiro Matsuda tests the Hulkster. Though his name may not be entirely familiar with most WWE fans, it could be said Hiro Matsuda was one of the most influential men in company history. Matsuda achieves this status not for his accomplishments in the ring, which were indeed numerous, albeit outside of the WWE universe and thus irrelevant to Vince McMahon. However, Matsuda did something else McMahon must be highly thankful for in training a number of future superstars, including the biggest sports entertainment icon of the 1980s, Hulk Hogan. On the other hand, Matsuda very nearly entered Hulkamania years before it began by purposefully breaking Hogan's leg the very first day of his training. Strangely, unlike today, where such a move would get someone banned from the industry. Back then, this was considered a reasonably normal way for a trainer to test a student's resolve. Hogan passed the test by returning to his training as soon as medically cleared, as the rest, as they say, is history. Number 3. The Great Sasuke honors his mask. In many respects, professional wrestling in Japan and sports entertainment in America are entirely different industries. Sure, they share suplexes, world championship titles, and big bombastic entrances, but the history and legacy of the businesses are entirely different. For one thing, only a handful of wrestlers wear masks in America, and it's not that big a deal when they choose to do so. In Japan, a masked wrestler's facial attire is integral to their very existence, something not all foreigners respect or understand. Former ECW talent The Dirt Bike Kid certainly didn't get the picture when wrestling the Great Sasuke during a tournament for Michinoku Pro, where all losers would be forced to forever lose their masks, disrespecting the very point of the tournament. DBK ripped off the mask Michinoku Pro made for him in the early seconds of the match, earning a legitimate beating from Sasuke for daring do so. Number 4. New Jack is a violent gangster. If violent and malicious acts were given patron saints, New Jack would be such an icon for this sort of list. ECW's most violent gangster has come under fire more than once for intentionally hurting his opponents, once nearly getting ECW kicked off pay-per-view for allegedly going too far in a match against the underage Mass Transit. Ironically, New Jack was going completely by the book in his most infamous moment, meaning that particular incident doesn't necessarily belong here. However, later matches against Vic Grimes and Gypsy Joe would go a little bit different, with New Jack getting way too violent with both men without the promoters telling him to. The Grimes incident was particularly terrible, as Jack later claimed he was actually trying to kill the man in retribution for accidentally causing him brain damage at Living Dangerously 2000. Not that the match against Joe was only less heinous, as the indie icon was in his late 60s when Jack decided to brutalize him for fun. Number 5. Perry Saturn loses his head. Most of the time when a wrestler maliciously attacks their opponent in the ring for real, they have absolutely no excuse for their actions. Even when an offender does attempt to defend themselves, few people buy the explanation. This was the case when Perry Saturn legitimately attacked Mike Bell during a match taped for WWE Metal, after having been dropped on his head during a botched snapmare. According to Saturn, from the moment his head hit the mat, he had no idea what was happening, and if he got too rough with Bell, it wasn't truly intentional in the sense he consciously meant to beat the guy up. Unfortunately, in his potentially king-coxed state, that's exactly what Saturn did, leaving Bell a beaten and battered mess for a meaningless match on the company's least worst show. Rumor has it Saturn's later mopey gimmick was punishment for going too far. Number 6. Antonio Inoki is the only great one. To fans of Japanese wrestling, Antonio Inoki is like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair rolled into one, with a little bit of Vince McMahon thrown in as well. This obviously makes him one of the industry's preeminent legends, iconic in every way and a world champion many times over. With all this in mind, why a out of shape, past his prime, small-time Canadian wrestler named the Great Antonio would try and take on the other Antonio's legend makes absolutely no sense. Making the situation more confusing is when and how the Great Antonio went about doing this, choosing not to sell his opponent's offense during a match for New Japan Pro Wrestling, an organization Inoki owned and founded. To overcompensate, Inoki began legitimately beating his opponent to the mat, then just about kicked his face in for daring try and make him look bad. So today I have explained to you 6 wrestlers who intentionally hurt their opponents in the ring in this video. So what do you think about the video? If the video is good, please like it. Also subscribe the channel. So I bid you farewell for today. Good luck to all of you.